Yes. It's another beautiful evening. Welcome. It's a good day. Still in Rwanda, the land of 1,000 hills. It's yours truly, Michael Kimathi, or MK if you want. Still covering Africa tech ecosystem all the way. These Africa's Talking podcasts, well known as Retort Podcasts, in collaboration with Impact Masters Podcasts. Africa's Talking will provide USSD, airtime, SMS, and voice. And you can find all these products at africastalking.com. Providing developer APIs across 54 countries in Africa and beyond. Running top 1% community of developers across the world. You can find our community at community.ilarian.com/africastalking. And it's open for everyone to join. Our hackathons are going on in 8 countries, and every Thursday of the month, you'll find us in Nairobi hosting these hackathons. Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania. In partnership with TADAC, our close partner, TADAC Global, working closely with Mozilla, amongst many other companies, to reach the next mile of developers. When you talk about developer impact across Africa, we mean business. And welcome again, telling the stories that matter of movers and shakers in tech without leaving anyone behind. Welcome you to join in our conversation through Twitter Space Live. And you get this podcast in all channels: Google Podcasts, iTunes Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, amongst any other podcast out there. Look for Africa's Talking Retort Podcasts or Impact Masters Media Podcasts. On YouTube, it's YouTube Africa's Talking or Impact Masters Media. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Listen to the stories that matter, that will improve your life. Thank you so much. Beautiful day. And today we are joined by one and only, the man himself, Victor Abedi. Victor Abedi has been my longtime friend, a guy I've known for some time, since the days he was starting up until today. And today we are going to tell his story as a mover and shaker in tech across Africa, and what really matters and how can we really change Africa through tech. But before then, Abedi is experienced site reliability engineer with 7+ years of experience and demonstrated history of working and building resiliency in production systems, distributed systems, and building at scale with security and optimization in mind. He practices DevOps and building backend application using Spring Boot, Java, and multi-cloud services, Azure, AWS, and GCP, and he helps architect on cloud and come up with SLO and SLI to ensure systems are always running optimally, releasing, engineering, and designing system. Abedi, how are you, Chief?
Yes. Hi, Mike. How are you? That was a long as description. But Sante Sana, happy to be here.
Yes. You know, for us, we just keep it raw. It's more of raw conversation, telling our own stories, trying to make sure that everyone who is listening, they know who we are, why we are, and we can't tell an African man's story without knowing who they are, right? And mostly, we find most of the people telling, their story in brief, and also even other media come in and tell stories in brief. You and I know most of these fund companies, tech companies. Now, most of the serious engineers are based in Africa, but this is not told, well enough or enough times to make any impact. So for us, this podcast we started by showcasing some of these stories because I myself have been in the ecosystem. I've seen the transition, and I know we can do more. Kenya is one of the examples. Today we're in Kigali, Rwanda.
Yep.
And this is also one of the examples of it can be done. Yeah, so
For sure.
ensuring that we're telling these stories is one step towards the right direction. So, Chief, you have worked for so many amazing, impactful companies across the world. Disneyland, among many other. But before we go there, we would like to hear who is Abedi from day zero. Before the Abedi we know, before the Victor Senior Engineer.
Yeah.
Yes. Please tell us about Abedi. Where did you grow up, Kaka?
Yeah, I grew up in Umoja in Nairobi. So I grew up in the not really suburbs.
Yeah.
They call it mid-level class ghetto of Nairobi.
Yeah.
In Umoja. Actually, no. I can't remember. So growing up, I grew up in Kibera. And then my parents moved us to Umoja, where I think I lived, most of my teenage life before having to go into boarding school. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, all right. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the chief director here is interrupting our session. Please, go on, Abedi.
Yeah, Mike. So, like I mentioned, I grew up in Umoja. Later on, moved to Ongwaro and then back to Umoja.
Yeah.
But yeah, I basically grew up in the beautiful city of Nairobi, and that's pretty much the city that defines who I am right now.
Kaka. Victor Abedi.
Yes.
So, and this is actually something I've realized with so many people that they like brushing off.
Yeah.
I grew up in Umoja, went to Mgwaro, went back to Umoja, and that's where I grew up. No. Sometimes most of these experiences of growing up in these places makes us who we are.
Definitely.
And if you think about Umoja, Umoja was one of the poshy estates until, lately.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same as Buruburu.
Actually, yes.
Sure. But so many people who move there, they don't know these things. And it's always good to share some of these things. I don't know if you used to live in Umoja when it was Umoja.
I actually lived in Umoja when it was Umoja. Your time tulikuwa dina Mtindwa.
Oh, there was Mtindo there.
Mtindwa, and I think Mtindwa is no longer there anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was Umoja inner core, and life was all about living for survival. Honestly, I did not have to struggle growing up.
Yeah.
I feel like my parents removed the stress of having to do that. But yeah, honestly, I think that humble background also kind of humbled me even where I am right now. Because getting to know where you're from ideally gives you that definition of who you are right now.
Yeah. So what was the experience of growing in Umoja back in the day?
Growing up in Umoja was, I'll say, simple. Honestly, there was nothing much. All you could do is, wake up, go to school, back home, over the weekends, catch up with your friends, play in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Those brick and mortar games, swings, you will tie up ropes in the stairway and use that to swing.
Yeah.
I remember I even used to climb the stairway anytime because my dad used to be very strict when we were growing up. So playing was never part of his sort of entertainment. So if you hear, when your friends is like, I've seen your father, and like Vicky Baba yako, the first thing you think of is to run away.
Yeah.
Get to the house and behave like you never left the house. So that was really growing up for us.
Yeah. So was it strict that you should be more focusing with books or more focusing with house chores, or why was it strict? Just staying in the house, or?
Not really. I mean, there was time to play for sure. I mean, the way they say, work without play makes you dull. So my dad was open for playing, but then there were limits for how long you could play. Being a kid, to other people, guys were let out to play until late in the night, but for us it was, if you're going to play, you step out for 2 hours and just ensure you're back before curfew. Because if you meet him in the house after curfew, it's going to be another story. But I feel like for him, it was, you can have fun, but have limits. And I think even right now, growing up, now that I'm not even stay at home, it's I can actually go out and do things, but I still have that reservation of, okay, I have to do it, but I love to do it up to a particular limit. So that was really about it.
So that's one of the things that you learned when you were young, and it helped you in the whole years or later years.
Exactly.
In your life. But at that age, did you really think that or did you find your dad strict, as you said, and you could not understand why does he require you to have certain schedule?
Well, again, being a boy, it was more like, I feel like there's this thing people talk about, acting your age.
Oh, okay.
So at that particular time, it was more like, my dad is strict. I'm living under his roof. I have to be obedient. Otherwise, if you want to create chaos or mayhem in the house, just do the opposite. But just growing up in that particular environment, honestly, I did feel like he was kind of stepping into my environment as a kid. But then now looking back, I feel like this was actually maybe meant to culture me to become a particular way or actually act in a particular manner.
Oh, very nice. So you did your primary school in Umoja and Kawangware?
Yes, I went to, in Umoja I schooled in, what's that school called again? Busara. I went to Busara Primary School. Na kulikuanga na used to have those guys for first border, the big guys of the class, So ideally, if you're a first border, people will respect you. But I think due to adolescence and many other things, other additional factors, we had to move from Umoja and move into Kawangware. And at that particular time, I had to shift classes, because even parents, again, I think anybody who grew up in Nairobi around that time, anything between 2004 all the way to 2006, our parents used to move a lot. It will be, actually, I'll find it weird if you stayed in one neighborhood, if you're living in Nairobi,
throughout the
that
primary
particular
school
time, yes. So we did move from Umoja. We went to Kawangware, and at this particular time, I had to shift schools too. So my dad took me to one of the good schools actually. So I went to Milimani Primary School in Kilimani. Actually, right now it's a suburb, by itself.
By then it wasn't.
It was.
Or it was
actually
coming up?
It was coming up.
Okay.
I do remember my escapades in Milimani Primary School for sure. And that was fun until we had to come back again to Umoja, which meant now again changing schools. So I did move to what's that school called? Donholm Primary, And
This is still in primary, right?
This is still primary, So there's the things like class 6.
Yeah.
And then my adolescence kicked in, And I think my class teacher did report this to my dad, and my dad was like, it's about time, we need to move you to a boarding school.
So when you talk about adolescence, you start becoming big-headed. You can't be told anything.
Of course. And then growing up in Umoja, now you're becoming we call it kuwa mrui, like you want to take charge
Become
of
hardcore,
exactly. So
nowadays they call I don't know if it's Shembeteng or something. Umauru.
there were those, definitely. And I will tell you for sure, at that particular time, if I wasn't moved with my parents to a boarding school, I would probably end up being one of those street kids. Not really street kids, but those street gangsters, because that's what the environment that we were in was actually pushing us into. So the fact that our parents saw that way in advance and they chose to move us to boarding school, honestly, that was a blessing by itself. For sure.
And then did you realize they're doing something to help you, or you still feeling like, my parents are a bit strict, they don't care about me that much,
Well, it did happen. The funny thing, my brother actually went to boarding school way in advance.
Okay.
So a year before me.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, my dad is preparing me. He's telling me, from next year, you're going to a boarding school.
Yeah.
I think my bro also kind of lied to me. Again, the boarding school that we were going to was not in Nairobi.
Oh.
So this boarding school was in Homa Bay, in a place called Oyugis.
Oyugis, yeah.
Yes,
I know Oyugis.
yes.
I think we have passed Oyugis.
Yes, we have actually. To Agoro Sare, yes, on your way to Kisii. So I went to a boarding school called Ober Boys Boarding School. And at that particular time, before I even joined the boarding school, my bro had lied to me that they have a swimming pool in school. So me, I knew,
this is your big bro or small?
My big bro, So I'm like, wait a minute, what am I even doing in Nairobi? Because Nairobi, it's just about acting gangster and going to school and adolescence.
Yeah.
And I mean, he did sell that vision to me, honestly. I knew I was going to heaven, where there's no dad, there's no mom to control me.
Yeah.
Kuna swimming pool, I can swim all I want. I can go to class when I want. And I think this time, Pia, there's this popular magazine that actually come out, Insider.
The Insider.
The Insider had just come out, and also, what's this other one called? There used to be this magazine called Shujaz. And they had partnered with a show called Club Kiboko, KTN. So I was featured, and my bro took the magazine to the boarding school.
So you're already a celeb there.
Sasa huko, yes, when I'm going to school, by the time I'm arriving in the school, everybody's expecting a celebrity. This guy's been seen in TV. So this is a big man coming to school. And honestly, I will tell you for sure, it was hard settling in boarding school.
Because there is expectation that people have.
Yes.
There is what you
I had expected
from this environment.
Remember, I'm still expecting the swimming pool.
And those expectations never met.
I did my primary. I actually finished my primary in Ober Boys boarding.
Yeah.
I joined high school now. That was Orero Boys boarding school. Shout out. I know it's a national school.
Yeah.
Nowadays they call it Orero High School. So shout out to my boys who are listening to this podcast. That's where I actually did my high school, and actually that's where my passion for computing did develop.
Yes. Don't brush off. We are here, Kaka. Take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
So you finish primary school. How did you manage to meet these two? And you might assume it, but there are a lot of people who actually, this is their reality as you speak.
100 for sure,
around Africa. Because you see, Africa is a dream.
For sure.
It's not yet. We have not woken up. We're in a dream. So there's what we want to see. There's what is happening on the ground. There's what we are promised. There's what our leaders tell us. So it's a one big dream in every angle, in every age. Because look, even Kenya has come from, it's just 1 year after election. There's what people actually expected from the new government. Now, people are like, this is worse than the dream that we are in. So they're in another dream, expecting for the better.
Exactly.
So what I'm trying to say is that that reality actually sets different knowledge sets for people to, grasp something out of it. So how did you merge the two? The expectation from the students and your expectation from the school, and now even your real brother has lied to you.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you overcome it over time? Or?
definitely.
Yeah.
One thing for sure I have learned in this life: there's nothing permanent
Yeah.
in this life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I definitely did overcome the overwhelming situation that was there at that particular time.
Yeah.
I think at most, for sure, having my bro also in that school did help a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we used to be like my bro used to be like my sidekick. So anytime we needed help, I needed help with something, he's always gonna show up for me. So life wasn't that bad at that particular time. And yeah, definitely. I mean, yes, there was the expectation that I did had.
Yeah.
But over time, I did have to accept the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of I had to accept the reality of what life gives you.
Yeah. And use
what
it.
you're dreaming.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and yeah, what's just reality by itself. So I did settle in. I think 3 months in,
Yeah.
I just settled into the system, and honestly, looking back, it was actually a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how did you perform in primary school?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not a bookwormer. I'm more a logical person, or I'm one person who likes using knowledge and putting it into practice. Yeah?
Yeah.
And for sure, the African system, brother, when you go to school, you are kind of set to do certain subjects. So for sure, I did not get an A. I think we didn't have grades in primary, did we?
We did.
We did. Oh yeah, I think we did. Actually, we did. Yes. So I wasn't an A student. I was an average student.
Yes.
Yeah, but for sure, if you're listening to this and you are finding yourself in that level, don't pressure yourself.
It's gonna be okay.
Don't pressure yourself.
It's not about the A, B, C, D,
No.
and up to E.
It's about the skill.
About you.
It's about the skill that you get when you're in class. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but just straight to it, I did score enough to take me to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this means maybe you did not drop your adolescence approach to life.
Well, I mean, you see, for sure, just never skip anything that comes through your life. Yeah. If you are meant to be an adolescent at that particular time, just act it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, for sure, there's gonna come a time and it's gonna be past you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be 30 and you're acting as an adolescent. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I did take it in the way it came. Yeah. I did play the role as it came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. So you joined Orero.
High School.
One and only.
Yes, the lion
I hear
never
that
sleeps.
name. That's the
That's
motto.
the name. Yeah, that's the motto. Yeah.
Oh, the lion never. So
The lion
Orero is
never
it's a Luo name, right?
Honestly, I do not know.
It
Because I
sounds
think,
like,
I honestly don't. Because I think when you used to go to Funkies at some point, I used to put swag in the name. Yeah. So I will be like Inorero High School. I think that time also the Oreo biscuit had just came out. So it'll be like, I'm in Inorero. Like when you say Inorero, sounds like Lenana or the big schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at that time when I joined, it was actually a secondary school. Struggling, but for sure, the guys who are in that school right now, they're living the life.
Oh,
yeah, I've seen
so
it.
you guys really set out, some good.
We build up the foundation for where the school is right now.
Very nice,
Yeah.
very nice. So you joined the school. What was that experience? Did you get monolization? Did you get monolized?
Yeah, I mean, no, I did not. I wasn't bullied in high school. And I feel also coming from a boarding school into another boarding school, of course, most high schools in Kenya usually go through the boarding system. The fact that I did have the experience first, no one will bully me. Okay. And then the way the school was actually known for discipline. Yeah. We did have a guy called William Oluchi was the deputy principal at that particular time. He speaks less. And trust me, for sure, you going out on expulsion, suspension was something that could happen in a second when you're in his office. Actually, when you're somewhere in his office, two things, either bad news or good news.
Which means you can be expelled.
Anytime.
And good news is?
Good news could be like your father sent you money for transport.
They used to send to the principal.
Of course. guys for Nairobi,
Guys from Nairobi.
Because it's another 6-hour drive from the school back to home.
Yeah. So how was this school set up? Like, you said it was secondary school. Right now, people are living large.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so by that, for sure, the infrastructure that I got when I joined the school was way, way different to how things are right now.
Yeah.
I think in my early the Form 1, our structures were actually built out of clay. Yeah, that was not even stone.
So it was more of a community.
Yeah, the school was more like a community-based school in a center. Even the kind of meals they will prep for us, the normal githeri, that's what githeri and uji will be our staple
diet. That is maize and beans mixed together.
Yeah. And then they'll sift the maize and add sugar with water and cook something called porridge. Yeah, so there was that. But yeah, look, honestly, I mean, the school, again, school is all about knowledge, yeah? The rest is by the way, yeah? But for sure, we did have enough room to sleep. The dormitories were fine. Our bathrooms were not that fancy. It was just an open air market. Just go take your trough, fetch some water and pour it on yourself. The rest, you just figured out the way it was. But I know right now the infrastructure is amazing, the kind of facilities that they have, what they are served. I mean, all you just need to worry about is books.
So what really made you perform really well?
Well, for sure, Mike, my background, I didn't come from a fancy family. We were not that rich. I think we were mid-size, how do you call it?
Middle class.
Exactly.
Middle class is okay, kaka.
It's kati-kati.
The country we're in here, there's I guess I heard and he told me that they by 2027 or something, they want to be middle income country. And you can see what we already have here, but they're not already middle income.
Yeah.
By 2050, they want to be a high income country.
Yes.
So middle class is okay, but of course I know what you mean. Like it's not like too fancy or privileges.
You're in between. And the problem about in between is you can fall either way. So you can
just
fall on poverty.
One salary away from poverty.
Yes, and you're also one salary away from being rich.
Yes.
Yeah, so there was that. And also like my background growing up, I feel like that also like shaped me for who I am in life. Even me going through school. I feel like if I went to how do you call them, the group of schools or something, I probably would have turned out differently.
McKinney, Brookhouse, and the rest.
Because where I went in school, it was all about survival for the fittest. So you fight for your own. It's like literally what you call the the jungle, the animal kingdom.
The man for himself and God for us.
Exactly. The animal kingdom. So you fight for your own. So
shamba la wanyama.
Ndio hivyo. So that was high school for me.
So had you ever missed lunch because maybe you got late or something happened?
Oh, for sure, 100%. It's not even being late. We will actually queue. At this time the school I think had a population about 2,000 people. Zero grazing, I think, in about, if that was a lot, probably 7 hectares of land. But 2K students. So
a lot,
it was taking in, again, discipline and performance made it reputable for people to come from different parts of the country and come study there. But you will actually go queue and they will tell you the food is over. So you...
Until next time.
Either wait for tomorrow.
See you.
Or if there was stock, they will cook something little for you guys and you'll stomach that into your stomach. But there were days for sure, I mean, I can't think of any, but if there was... At least one thing for sure, like I said, is again, survival for the fittest, So if you miss out food, I mean, you have the right to go and complain because you paid fees. You paid fees. There's no way you can sleep hungry.
And at least you'll get bread and what?
Yeah, actually at that particular time, you go to the canteen, you buy your quota, your 10 bob.
Oh, you
go by the canteen, get your
The school
quota.
will not cater for that?
No. Again, even the school was part of the system. Survival for the fittest. They're made to make you...
They're working with the minimal resources.
Exactly.
And people are not paying school fees in time.
Yeah, and they're actually those people. They are, there are guys who... we used to call them... the guys who actually will come to school and... they live nearby school. Yeah. And not people did come from different backgrounds. And I know of students who actually paid their fees because their parents used to cultivate maize and sell that maize to the school for us to eat it. Yeah, so it was
They paid using cereals.
Yeah, you pay using cereals. Yeah.
Barter trade
For sure.
What did you call those guys?
I don't know. But for sure, we didn't put out any names to the students. It was more like peer respect.
Okay.
So again, no one will tag you.
But for sure, this person
the
is
school,
struggling.
yes. Because again, the principal will be like, these guys have not paid school fee. Your father, he brought
Two sacks of maize.
and your school fee is about 40 sacks. So, and guys will be expelled actually, by the way. Not expelled, guys will be sent home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because, the school also needs to feed people.
Yeah.
And if they don't have the enough resources to feed everyone because someone didn't pay fee, to offset the liability of the guys who paid fees not eating, you are let out to go home. So you go and figure it out with your parents.
But those guys turned out well.
Well, they did.
Yeah, really well.
They did, and I will tell you, guys did. And again, I feel like one thing that taught me was, regardless of where you come from, or rather where you come from and the struggles that you've been in through life, those lessons do actually define who you become. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I said. Because for me, we would start from where you are, what you do, your skill base and everything, what needs to be done. But I feel like, when you skip that formation, the foundation of everything. And I think also I feel like even Africa as an ecosystem in terms of economic, social, political and everything, the reason why most of our structures collapse is because we build them from other structures which we pick up from either stem or branches or,
a copy and paste.
Yes, copy and paste. And you don't ask yourself, by the time these people decided maybe a president should serve for 2 years, they had their own experience.
Yeah.
What is our experience? We always say, this works.
For sure.
We don't go beyond that.
Yeah.
Let's use it and see. Then it doesn't work, you're like, this other one works. I don't know if you have seen that meme of, something walking, and then when they see something, I don't know what it's called. It's a movie or animation or something.
Yeah.
So when they see a cricket walking this way, they turn into a cricket. In most of the countries in Africa, that's the way it is. But I think to give the credit where it's due,
for sure. Yeah.
I love how things are turning out step by step.
Yeah.
Young people have more voice. Young people are doing amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And people are realizing, even if I had 100,000 acres of land, I'm just one person.
Yeah, for sure.
But what if I had this knowledge and shared, and I think we'll get there and you see how what you have been doing had impact in the shortest time possible.
Yeah.
So there's that part of high school. So where did you start now getting into computing, programming and whatnot?
Yeah, for sure. So I think probably. Let me take it back though. So this is before high school. Yeah, in class 8. One fine morning, my dad comes home. He's loaded. He's definitely carrying some cartons.
Yeah.
And it seems like it has goodies for sure. So my dad had just acquired some computers for us to use at home.
Yeah.
Growing also with the diversity and things changing, how people work. We did have our first compact. That CRT based monitor with your system unit and your mouse and keyboard. Yeah, that was what we had. And I remember the first time I touched that device, the first time it was more like, let me play those cards games, Solitaire, I think I get here.
Yeah.
And then I used to tell my mom, I will go and sleep, and then I will think about something. And I will come and do that thing in the computer, and it will actually work. And my mom used to be fascinated about that. And I was like, yeah, mom, this is actually, it's weird that I go and dream about it. I do not know how to use the computer at that particular point. But then now, based off the interest and the intriguing things that this thing is able to do, I just start thinking about something, like the next day I want to be like, let me go and check out my computer and, probably find this file, and I'll go and do it, and, I'll actually find it there, and I will be like, interesting.
Yeah.
And then later on, so the high school that I joined, they're actually offering computer as a subject.
Yeah.
From Form 1. And of course, they have to introduce you to the basics. And I can tell you, of all the many subjects that I took in high school, my best performing subject was actually computer studies. Yeah. So at this particular point, this is where now the interest is actually coming. And the beauty about this is the way the syllabus is curated. I think is introduction, parts of a computer. And then later on, they'll introduce into the basics of programming. And to be honest, I just did pull the plug until the last bit at the Form 4, where I even did my, examination around computing. And that's actually where the magic started.
What fascinated you to be really that interested?
Well, it's the fact that the world of computing does open up opportunities for you, because you are allowed to build something and actually see it work. And honestly, with computing, there are two sides. There is hardware and there is software. Software is basically you giving instructions to a hardware to perform a particular task. And, you being able to do that using a programming language or even just interacting with the UI, GUI, and, the computer being able to do what you want to do. That to me was like, you have the world with you already. You want to instruct your computer to... Okay, let me think of the worst. Bomb a place. It will. We've seen it in military.
No, even they say right now the next world war will not be about people bombing each other.
Cyber war.
It will be cyber war.
For sure.
And remember the other day, most of the government website in Kenya were hacked.
Yes.
That tells you that this thing is more real than ever.
Right? It's coming up.
And that's why for me, I'm passionate about software engineering. For one, is that it will put us in a place. I'm not saying that we should be fighting each other or something.
For sure.
But we can create so many solutions that actually will take us to the next level.
For sure. Yeah.
So you start programming. Which language did you start with?
So my first language was actually HTML.
That is in high school or after high school?
This is in high school still. Yeah. So I think in Form 3, that's when they now start introducing programming. Yeah. I think there was COBOL and Pascal was actually in our syllabus.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was.
Which year was this?
This was in high school. This is in between 2010 and 2014.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we were actually taught those languages, the basics, But then also time had moved on, and also I think where the world was going, I think HTML5 was just being introduced in the market.
Yeah, I remember that,
Yes, so I just started, the fancy thing was, I think in HTML there's this stuff called MAQ, where if you put text inside a MAQ, it moves like, when you watch news and those two headlines are moving down there, the fancy thingy. So that used to fascinate me a lot. I was like, wait, I can actually write a long-ass paragraph and, that will move across my screen. So, HTML was actually my first programming language. But things have changed now.
And do you know who drove the HTML5 to be the standard, interface language?
No. I don't know.
The reason why you mentioned it, I've remembered it. It's Apple. Or Apple, as people call it. And the reason was people used to use something with Adobe. It was Adobe something. That was a standard for video viewing.
Yes. Adobe Flash something.
Flash
Media.
Something.
I remember.
But the argument of Steve was that this thing is eating memory.
Yes.
Memory is what makes things load or
of course,
display well. The quality determines the quality. But HTML5 was really straight because it just crunched some digits, which is zeros and ones, and displayed them really fast. So Steve actually gave the Adobe people for Flash. Now you said Flash something.
I think it was like Flash Player or something. But I do remember the extension that you needed to put on if you wanted to stream any video.
Absolutely,
content.
It's like a Java running machine.
Exactly.
Before for you, okay, this now sounds
JVM.
fascinating. Now it sounds daddy. So before people used to install these, even users for their videos to play. And especially on Windows or PCs, it was really, really slow. And Steve was always for optimum performance and design. So Flash did not really allow the room. And given that it was the background of Flash is Adobe, he was so furious. So he gave these guys a notice. Then I used to do BlackBerry and stuff. So you give these guys a notice, I think, of 1 year or 2 years. The same way you see things disconnected, like they tell you your iPhone 7 will not have any updates. The same thing by this date.
Yes.
And people thought this guy is nuts. How can you stop the only thing that makes video play?
Yeah.
Guess what? That's when now YouTube was catching up. Like YouTube thing.
Now people are going to the web.
This guy was a proper visionary.
Yeah.
Down the line, he stopped supporting Flash. You will not be building Flash, because another thing also that made him discouraged with the Flash is that every time you build this version of Flash, another version of Flash is out. And it's not the best way to use the resources you have.
Yes, because now it means you guys need to go and re-engineer it.
When he stopped it, that was the end of Flash. Everyone else was like, we supported 1 year, but eventually it was not really. I don't know which people who are listening on our Twitter space can chime in. You can come in and speak and chime in around this topic, and it will make it more interactive. So I don't know if there are still companies supporting it, but eventually that's how Flash ended up becoming obsolete.
Yeah.
And this also tells you about other technologies. I know right now the biggest thing is AI, ChatGPT, machine learning, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
But now you start doing HTML, HTML5, and then which other language fascinated you?
Well, not even languages. I think they did introduce us to how hardware works, because for a hardware component to behave the way it behaves, there's now that machine language, what you introduce, the binaries and all that kind of stuff. And I think at that particular point, it was one class that I did enjoy a lot was actually that binary class, so the zeros and ones,
and how to write
hexadecimal, and we actually tested the lesson. Yeah, it was there. It's still there in the syllabus.
That is Orero.
Yes.
Maybe guys should be good to Orero.
Guys, no, just do computer. If it's offered in your school as a subject, just do it.
You'll understand the basics.
Exactly. Yeah. Rather than studying mountains in geography and different type of stones. So again,
don't forget we need pilots, Kaka. That's how we got here. So don't discourage people. If you feel like you should do a geography and you want to be a pilot, please go for it.
Again, and that's why there's always a selection.
Yeah.
I think by Form 3 you already know what you want to study.
Yeah.
But for me, that was part of the curriculum. And I did enjoy that part of how the CPU and ALU works, and how those zeros are converted into instructions that the computer can actually understand. Because now they say that there's the high level language and the low level language. So when you speak about binary, we're talking about the low level languages. But that was in our syllabus. It was good. It was good while it came, and I think for me, just having a concept and an idea and actualizing that concept and idea through software did make me stay in the software world.
That's very fascinating, because to be honest, my first computer interaction was in university first year. This is not just about programming or anything. And I it's not something it's something to be proud of, because for me, it's just there's these computers. I was still fascinated with the computers, but of course, to where I went to school and the computers that are available were just to play game using floppy disk.
Oh yeah, then you'll come and put it inside.
And there are so many other facet or things that are moving around. So when I went to the university, I was like, no. I need to learn this stuff. I need to catch up, because everyone who was coming there, they're either from Pioneer or Alliance or Mangu. People have just done all this stuff, cool stuff
already.
But I'm there. How do you switch on this thing? Can you imagine that?
Well, it was a problem
without using
people.
the switch.
Yes.
Yeah. Because for me, I was like, there's something you can do, because I will see someone it switches off. How do you do that? So for me, it was like playing catch up and very fast, because by the first month there's a cut.
Yeah.
Right? And then you think you have done all the math in high school, you have gotten good grades, and then you realize there is another math that you have never heard of.
That is still waiting for you.
And I understand also guys learn some of these math in high school. So whoever has that chance, take it really at this point and maximize on it, because it helps you a lot, and also it helps you understand things faster. And it's good that you have shared Abedi. So you finish, by the time you are doing KCSE, you had already made up your mind, I'm doing anything to do with computing.
For sure. I knew the moment I am leaving that gate, if I was to get to, but this time you're not even done your KCSE.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said, I was an average student.
Yeah.
And I think the best grade that I ever scored in between Form 2 and Form 3 was a C+. Yeah. C+ is university entry grade.
And you're not sure by that time.
And you're not sure if you're going to get in. But still, I knew for sure that even if I needed to work, pull myself up from my C grade and come to a B, which will give me a good landing.
Still average,
Still average, but will give me a good landing in uni. I knew for sure I was going to do software engineering. Yeah. And I think something else.
But okay, go ahead.
Yeah, something that I did miss out. There's this coding school actually called Immobilis.
Yes,
Immobilis is
really
like, yes, it's like, I know guys talk about Moringa School now. Yeah, but Immobilis had integrated their curriculum also. They used to come to high schools.
Mobile development.
Yes,
stuff,
yes. So they will target guys who are like Form 3, Form 4. And then they'll give you a test.
Yeah.
If you pass the test, once you're done with your KCSE, they will pick you up for a partial scholarship. And I think this program was sponsored by Google at that particular time.
Yeah.
I think also the mobile software market was also quite new. So
no,
again,
it was like the big thing.
Yes, because me,
Nokia,
Symbian was
BlackBerry,
actually,
Symbian,
that guys were actually building on Symbian at that time. So at this point, I had two options. Like if I fail, at a no uni grade, I know I'm definitely landing into Immobilis. Because by the time the time I just did their test before KCSE, they already sent me an admission letter for the partial scholarship. So I knew for sure if I'm not getting into the university to pursue computer science, I will definitely land in Immobilis. Yeah.
So you already set.
But I did know software was going to be it.
Yeah. So what did you do to get the grade? But did you do, I was asking, did you do the research what is required for you to get into a proper computing university?
Well, I did. I did.
And when you found physics, chemistry, biology?
That was the catch. That was the catch. Yeah.
Those are your thing or?
Well, honestly,
you were struggling.
Maths was something else.
Math was not mathing as they say nowadays.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was what happens in high school. Is it adolescence or it's you being a teenager or something else? I don't know.
I feel like also there is a lot of noise in high school.
There was that. Me, I was a backbencher.
Yeah.
We used to call ourselves guys from Nairobi. When those guys whose their father are paying school fee using maize, us which our dads are paid school fee using money, we are backbenching, making noise and writing letters. Yeah. But the maths was not mathing for me at that particular point in time. I think the best, which was actually quite crazy, and I think my dad had to step in, because computer, worst grade worst percentage was 70. Best, or most of the time I'll get a 90. Come to maths, the best I'll get in maths was a 20 out of 100.
It was that serious.
And I used to have a very supportive math teacher. He was my class teacher. I used to be called Ofumali. Some lawyer guy. And the guy would come to class and say, Babu, umepita. And mind you, let me tell you for you.
Was he not ironical at that point?
I did not know.
How would you be?
This guy has been teaching me maths from Form 1. He's been our class teacher all through Form 4. Yeah? And I'll actually get worried, even me, and go to his office and tell him, teacher, this math, I don't know. Maybe I should come for remedial classes or something. He'd be like, don't worry. You have passed. So anytime, and it became a norm for our class actually, because in every year you went into, we had streams. So like from 4 east, west, south. So I was south, and south had the highest number of students. So we were like 90 of us in a class.
And why is that? Was there a reason, particular reason?
I think it was also like the infrastructure was also kind of building up, and their intake rate was also bigger. So for the modern classrooms, they will build them slightly bigger than the others, and then that will be the south streams.
Okay.
So, because us when you entered, I think that class you were like 100. By the time we were finishing in Form 4, we were like 80 something.
Yeah.
So it meant that if there was a Form 3 South before we went and in Form 2, they had to build a bigger Form 3 South for us to move into. Yeah. But for sure in maths, I can tell you, we used to have one student Gondi Stephen, who will get A. And his A was an 80, 96, 97, 98.
So that means you even getting close to him was unimaginable.
Him, he was in his own world.
Extreme.
He was in his own world. Because now in our world, where we were with the other people, from Gondi to the next person, that will be the next person has a 50. Yeah. Now from the 50, there now us, the rest of the class.
20s.
Now the bigger percentile of the class, which I think like 60 of us. That's where now you meet me.
So you guys were the K factor in statistics.
Yes, now you meet me. Exactly. Me, I'm there with my 21, 19. My best, I think, was at, 25, yeah?
The best you've ever gotten?
Yeah, in maths, I'm number 3. What do you mean? I'm number 3.
Oh, the group.
Yeah, in the of course, when they give you your papers, you'll be like, you ask your neighbor, what have you gotten? You have a 17. You're fine. And you? You have a 14. I've done better than you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
But was it
was
it how math was taught? Was it the teacher? Was it?
Well, it was the attitude for sure. I can tell you for sure when the maths was being taught in class, we will understand. Yeah. But now when it comes to exams,
you are all lost.
I think maybe that knowledge was just supposed to be retained as it was taught. Yeah. Or wherever it was landing into, I do not know. But I had to train my mind because in Form 3 things are getting serious. You're now about to do your KCSE, and if you're gonna get a 20, for sure, computer science is not gonna be on your radar at all. Yeah.
And did you research this and found out, or someone told you?
Of course, now in Form 3 you start hearing things about cutoff points. Yeah. Subject requirements to do a particular course. So. And this actually brings me to another catch.
Yeah.
Because maths and physics, I think, are the main subjects for computer science. Yeah. In our school, I think in Form 3, we're just now transiting. So before you choose that you're going to do physics, the physics teacher had said that if you did not get above 40,
forget about this shit.
We do not want people jokers in my class.
Yeah.
Apparently, me, I was the highest percentile. So me, I'd qualified to do it because at that particular time, I think my physics, I got a 51. So I think in that class, apparently from the 86 of us who were supposed to choose subjects to do physics, only 5 qualified to do physics
in that class.
And I can tell you, the guy was damn serious. The entire school term, only 5 of us
did physics.
Now, when we came back for the second term, this guy was teaching practice. He disappeared on us. And because
you didn't have a physics teacher.
And then this is a community school, so the school has to figure out to get another one.
The BOG manenos.
But do I have time? Let me see, I have computer studies here that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? If they're not going to give us a physics teacher in time, I will not do the subject. So I did not do physics, which later on I think I'll come and explain how that impacted me later when I was going to join uni for sure. Yes.
So Form 3 and Form 4, you didn't have a school teacher?
We didn't have no. I think he later came in Form 3 third term. But then you see, time has moved, and you've not covered a lot. And me, I don't have time for equilibrium and whatever, those things, and balancing the circuit or all these things. So I was like, already.
You sound like you are too bougie for high school.
Not really, man. Not even bougie. Well, okay, maybe now that I'm saying the story.
It sounds
but
bougie.
That time I was like, see, there's no otherwise. At this point in time, you just have to go with it as it is. So, yeah.
So you moved to Form 4?
I moved into Form 4. At this time, I am taking biology, chemistry, computer studies, maths, English, all languages, I think, and CRE and history. Because I knew CRE and history, that is straight A. Yeah, for sure. Those are
already your master's.
You complement your grades. But now, maths, I'm still the highest, I think, in Form 4. Still, Form 4 term 1, I'm still getting 21. And the teacher is like, Babu, umepita. Hivyo, like you passed. Keep going. But I will, honestly, now that I look back, I do not blame that teacher. He had a purpose for us, for sure. And again, it was more like, in life you'll meet different people. You'll meet people who will cheer you on. Yeah. And you know, at that time we used to call them the wind. So if you follow the wind and you're being cheered on, and in your real life, you know, you're going to fail, again, you'll fail. But if you call yourself in the meeting and say, okay, this guy is just,
he's telling me something without saying it.
he's giving me lies or pushing me towards a particular point. Yeah, I just had to re-strategize, because in this particular point, you're looking at uni. You need to go and pursue this course. You need to get those cutoff points.
Yeah.
So I did pick up.
So how did you crack it? Was it self-study?
It was mostly self-study. I had to be close. I had to even move myself from the back bench
to the guy who was
going to sit with Gondi now, Stephen Gondi.
The guy.
Where
is he nowadays?
I think he's some doctor somewhere. Gondi went to UN. He's now some medical doctor.
Very nice.
Gondi, if you listen to the podcast, but now we should catch up.
No, even we should host him.
We should for sure. Yeah, but it's been a while. I do follow up on these guys on Facebook. A lot.
Actually, this reminds me, my classmate in seminary was known as Joshua Meme. If you listen to this, please, let's come here. Let's talk about this thing. I think he's a pharmacist, one of the best in the country. There's another guy from Northeastern. I think his name was, can I remember his name? He was my desk mate, actually. But that guy, chemistry and math, it's just that he could not get 100.
Or the teachers will like take 1% from
this guy finished the syllabus in term 1, term 2.
Oh, crazy.
Wait, Form 3. In Form 3. Form 4 guys used to come to consult. Teaching practice guys used to come to consult. He knew all these KIE errors, where they are and why they are there. And stuff like that. This guy was good.
Wait, but let me ask you. Well, you know, like also in high school, I figured there were those guys who had gone to high school before, but then they came back.
No. These were not those
still
guys.
Like you guys are age mates, yeah?
Like Joshua, I hear his story. I was not in that school then. I think Form 1 and Form 2 first term, he was the last guy.
Oh, to be admitted?
No. No, not to be admitted. I wish it was admitted. No, in terms of ranking.
Oh.
But he loved playing a lot. I remember the mathematician guy, I'll tell you. And this surprises me why government does not really utilize some of these talents. Because this guy would do a proper rocket science kind of stuff, you know, satellite design, because that's pure math.
Oh, I remember. I think I know what you're talking about. Is it like Science Congress?
No.
Those two science things that, you know...
Not even Science Congress. Proper scientific stuff.
So
research.
This guy was a proper nini,
It's just that he could not get 100.
Okay.
And that's not one of the fanciest schools. But the guy was really good. Like it's like the way I would say you grasp stuff without struggling. So it has managed those two guys. I think I'll look for them and try to host them and hear what was their catch. But this Joshua, the difference between Joshua and this other guy is that Joshua used to get everything. It may be English, may be like the guy. But now when I hear he was always number last, almost number last in Form 1 and up to Form 2, Term 1. I'm like, sometime, or even in general, I think there's no one who is really bad. It's just sometimes if you're given enough time, or there's like an epiphany moment that's happened, you switch. So, but some of us delay until it's too late. Everyone is smart in general. So, what did you get after all said and done?
Your boy passed for sure. I had to call myself, and people have stories outside here.
True.
But for sure, when I called myself for that retrospect, I was like, I need to work on myself to get into uni for sure. So I remember the last exam that I did before KCSE was the mock. And in my mock, from all those good grades that I used to get from Form 1 to Form 4, to Form 4 this time, my best was a C+. But in mock, I'm seeing the B's. In fact, I got a B+.
And that's mock. Mock is one of the hardest exams.
Toughest exams. And at that particular point, I knew, I'd already surrounded myself with the right group. I'd set my mind to succeed. And all said and done, I did get a B+.
Oh, nice.
I missed an A- with 1 point for sure. Yeah, but that was beautiful, great to actually get me into uni for sure.
Yeah. So why did you go to uni?
Yeah, so the Kenyan system, job.
Decided.
You choose four.
Said this guy is not
You
too
choose
serious for
four,
life.
and then they shake it. They shake it, and when the nini becomes still, that's what you're going to study. Yeah? So remember we were talking about the cutoff points, yeah?
Yeah.
And physics being a requirement for you to do computer science. So when I'm going to the portal, anything computer science is blacklisted for my name. Reason being, yes, you have a good grade.
You guys even used to have portal.
Yeah, but ours...
You are the best guys who lived the best life.
But
because for us, you had to wait for 2 years.
But lucky you guys. Look at you guys. At least you didn't have to log into something and see you've been rejected. Yeah. Because I will tell you, I did search for computer science cutoff. No, cutoff match. Subject requirement entry 0. Because I didn't do physics.
Nowadays they're that transparent. Huh?
Yeah. I didn't do physics. Now, because I can't do computer science, we start looking for anything that is computer related. BBIT, business, something. ICT, information library for CG, what for library, what. Procurement, information systems. That is there to find courses that have information technology as part of the NINIA. And honestly, the ones that I would gain entry for was library something in JQuat. And I think KU. At this time, also, I consulted my cousin. He went to TUK, and my cousin did journalism. Yeah, so he told me you can actually apply to TUK, choose even journalism. He said choose even, but in my ears I had choose journalism. And then now when you get inside,
you can transfer.
You can actually do a transfer, and you need to, to another program. So I did that. First option, took journalism. Second option, library something, KU. And then I think that time peer procurement. The government, I think there were 2 scandals in the government, and guys were getting rich through procurement. So anybody in that year was like, procurement was the thing. So procurement, even me, third option.
Get rich real quick.
Yes, KU. I think 3 months in, the Nini comes back, where you've been called. Yeah, the results. And I landed in TUK, journalism. Yeah.
Nice.
So, quick admission day. We did orientation. I think like a month in.
Then was it a university or still a polytechnic?
No, they had just received accreditation. I think a month later after we joined. So my letterhead was Technical University of Kenya. But even on orientation day, everybody, if you say TUK, nobody will understand.
Kenya Poly.
People want to say Kenya Poly. Yeah. So we went through that, and then I think a month in, they had opened that interfaculty school transfer.
Interfaculty transfer.
Yeah. Quick. Who's going there?
Chief himself.
Yeah. Because I'm working with confidence. I see. I have I have grades. And mind you, wait, before I join uni, we skipped Immobilis, you guys first, remember?
Yes.
So we, after high school, that Kagapo is still waiting for you to be accepted.
You guys used to wait for a few months.
By then, I think it was 2 years.
Kaka is 2 years and you don't know what your fate is. Yes, you have passed your exam, but
yes.
You don't know if you are going to Egerton in
Njoro,
the end of the world, or the other one is Masen, or what is
they'll
the
send you
name?
in Kisumu.
Or Jaramogi.
Yeah. So I remember I told you I had an option. At least I had a plan. If uni fails, Immobilis was there for me. But the court that I was supposed to join, I didn't join in time because of that partial scholarship. African parents will have everything free. And I had to go and talk to my mom and tell her, hey, mom, instead for paying for me computer packages, which I already studied as computer science, computer studies in school, see, you can give me the other part of the money. I joined this Immobilis thing. First, my mom does not even understand this thing. She knows his son has a plan to do something, And I think she had to go and talk it out with one of her friends. And her friends
Is this Immobilis a school?
yeah, because nobody
What is
knows
this?
about
Is it like an
it. You know,
academy?
nobody knows about
Is it a
it.
college?
And then who says scholarship partial? Africans are if you're saying scholarship is
It's full.
scholarship is full. We don't
They should
understand
even
what
be
partial
giving you
is.
stipends.
Exactly. So yeah, my mom did talk it out with her friends as she narrates the story to me nowadays. And the friend was like, why not? Because again, if you're going to pay for computer packages, you will also use some money for that.
Yeah.
And since he already knows that that's what he wants to do, you go look for some money
Yeah.
and take him. So I joined the next cohort later. And mind you, for sure, it was like a reignite, more like a spark, a foundation to my career now. Because remember, I already know what I want to study. Now Immobilis is here to actualize that dream.
Yeah.
Because now I get into class, the first language I'm being taught is HTML.
Yeah.
And now I'm practicing it with CSS.
Oh.
And we're adding Bootstrap on top of it. So the vanilla on the cake,
That
the
was a
topping.
crazy recipe.
Yes. Bootstrap beautified everything that we used to create on top of our website. Yeah. So the course in Immobilis was called MIT. So in most time when I tell people I did MIT, they think I went to MIT, the uni. But it's called Mobile Entrepreneurship, something technology. And the key focus of that program is you learn web, you learn mobile. So it was actually web and mobile together with some soft skills, communication skills, and entrepreneurial skills. So at this point in time, I am positioning myself either I am getting into employment or I am going to use, because I'm a very visionary. I realize I'm quite a visionary person, I come up with ideas. And again, since I have software as my sidekick here, because I can go and read those instructions and actually actualize it as a business model, I actually went out and built something as part of my school project. And I didn't wait for the lecturer to come and teach us for more concepts. I'll go and learn the few introductory concepts, and then YouTube used to be there. So if guys for School of Life, you know YouTube, and our favorite guys, Dr. Punjabs, guys from India. So welcome to my YouTube tutorial.
You start learning the accent.
Welcome to CSS 101. So I used to go and complement what I learned in class together with that.
Here we'll be learning zeros and ones. So that's no.
That was fine. And you know, at this point also,
Indians, by the way, seriously, they're taking over the world. But go ahead.
They should be paid, honestly. I feel like they those guys were meant to teach the world these things. So at this point in time, I'm building solutions already. I have an app. And at this time also, Google is coming up with some interesting programs. The startup world is also igniting in the Nairobi ecosystem.
Sure.
iHub is also coming up.
That's when I had started building communities.
Now this is now when I'm even now getting myself inside the communities. I start attending events in iHub. I meet people who share the same concepts. This time, uni, I think I've started my first semester. I'm learning journalism now. But before Apple took, when the faculty transfer came, when I went and applied for it, I walked into the deputies, academic affairs, TVC something, and I still have a beef to that guy for sure. Because I walked in and I told him, hi, my name is so and so. My dad has sent me. Because this time also, my dad knew the VC.
They knew each other. So even before this interfactually transfer knowledge was actually coming from the VC to my dad, telling my dad, tell your son to come and... So that was internal information.
Yes. Now me, I'm going there with confidence, knowing, see, it's Africa. If you don't know anybody who knows anybody,
my dad knows
somebody, where are you going? So me, I walked into that guy's office and I tell him, I want to do BBIT. I want to transfer and do BBIT. He's like, show me your transcript. I give it out. He scans it 1 minute. He's like, you didn't do physics. I'm like, but I did computer.
Your problems come
I'm
back.
like, but I did computer. He's like, yeah, I know, but you didn't do physics.
You're like, so you know my dad.
And then I'm like, I'm trying to put that line for my dad. My dad is the one who sent me here. The guy told me, I don't have time for you. Get out of my office. And it was at that particular point in time
You realized?
that I knew operating a camera with all those bent angles. Because now, hey, it's now journalism 101, yeah? Now they're teaching camera operating class, a course, yeah? Tilting and spanning.
Yeah.
Zoom in, zoom out. Ilibidi. One guy in our department actually told me, you can actually do this journalism course. We also have some computing
Elements
inside.
Ice on the... is it called?
But now the computer I wanted was not what they were offering, because there was no programming in what journalism was.
Just how to,
the few editing softwares,
folder, moving
exactly.
folders, copying, exporting.
And I think at that point in time, I had to make my parents happy. I have passed in high school. I've been called to do journalism.
Yeah.
I actually did picture myself being as a journalist. Yeah, I was gonna read your news, guys.
You had started perfecting
you will
pronunciation.
hear me. Yes, in fact, on my third year, I knew what I wanted to do.
You did journalism up to that year?
Third year, bro.
You realize no one knows your father. It's your father who knows people.
At this point, I have to be another Mr. Nyangweso, because, he has built up his life to where he is. Yeah, and now I have to build up. I knew I had to know now. It's time for me now to build up Abedi.
Kaka, I didn't know about this about you.
Hey, bro, it's my journalism up to third year.
Yeah,
all through.
Yes,
and I knew now when we did this class for presentation, where you have to hold a mic.
Yeah.
And now read news in Kiswahili.
So you wanted to be on the other side of the camera, not.
Well, I loved operations. I love production. But now when they gave me the mic to practice, that was my toughest class.
Because now you cannot...
Because you need to come with a script.
Oh.
The equipments that the school had, we didn't have a teleprompter that you will read from.
So this was like high school journalism.
You go and write your own things there, and then you go and present. Nikiripoti kutoka, and I'm like, no? Do I want to be the guy for Nikiripoti kutoka
Do you want
Kigali?
To be... What is that guy's name? The guy that Ruto was saying is over-reporting.
Was that, I don't know his name, Seth Olalo, I don't know, but one of those guys. I know you've watched the news. The ones who will give, after the news goes through, they'll be like reporting.
Maybe our
from
producer there should tell us his name. It's like, Mark Masai.
Yes, Mark Masai.
No, there's another guy. Anyway, you decided I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, for sure. So I knew if I was going to end up as a broadcast journalist, it's either I'm going to be a news anchor, not a reporter. Because at least the curriculum, you said that you end up as a news anchor, a news reporter. Either you end up in the, how do you call it, the newspaper.
Yeah.
By the that kind of newspaper, when you see it like that, remember, they're like 150 journalists who've written stories inside there.
And they have not made it there.
They have professions, guys who have been in the industry like for 15 years, 20 years.
Only one
to
article.
Get a column on the first page, it either means you are some senior editor to get your work even inside the newspaper. And that was hard for me, honestly. It was. I knew writing apana, not for me. News reporter, not for me. So I knew I'm either going to end up, if I had to be in front of a camera, either I'm going to be a news anchor, which for now things change, by the way. Not everybody looks good in camera. But then I knew I had a voice for radio. Yes, I did. I had a voice for radio, so I knew, if things goes nini, see, my dad knows someone who knows someone.
No, I told you it's about who knows your dad, not who your dad knows.
But my dad knew someone who knows someone in KISS.
But did they know
Radio Africa. Bro, me, I was ready. Third year. I was like, see me, I'll just go and replace Shafiweru. Or they give me like a side gig. Kumbe, even for your voice to be heard in radio, you also have to come from somewhere. You just don't come from nowhere and become a big guy.
You should have a following.
Yeah, so there was that.
You should be good at creating scandal more than you can speak over the mic.
Yeah, but then one thing for sure is that my dream to become a software engineer did go away.
You are still here.
All this time I am pursuing, I'm
in the community,
pushing through with my degree program.
So when we met, were you still doing journalism?
I think I did. The first time I came for an Atlassian meetup, I was actually in my third year. when you guys were in Nairobi Design School, or what was it? Bishombugwa, the one that was at the ground floor.
It's a Nairobi Design School.
It wasn't higher, but there was like a design school down there. That was I was in my third year at that particular point in time. But and remember this time also, in my software world, I do not want to be employed.
Oh, you want to be an entrepreneur?
I built products. I built an app called Healthcare KE. In fact, the first name ilikuwa inaitwanga Unganisha 9111.
Wow, okay.
I actually built an ambulance hailing application.
Yeah.
That was the first time. And I even pitched it. Facebook had just started running this program called, what was it called again? F8. There's this developer community for Facebook that was there. I'm forgetting the name.
Facebook Developer Circle?
Circles, yes. So I had applied for, they had a grant. And I went and pitched the concept. I was actually number one in Africa. And then now the final runners-up, I didn't make it because I didn't follow up with that in this other presentation. But that got me enough cash to actually build that. And it was the first time I was now earning as an entrepreneur from something that I realized
this is real.
Yeah, I got that's the first time I've made my first 5K. As grant. It was like, we see where this can go, and you building it on top of Facebook. So here's 5K for you. And anybody who will come talking employment to me, I'll be like, shush. Mimi,
I'm a serious
I want to build a startup.
Don't want to be your slave.
So I used to. And actually, the good thing with iHub, they had built up this startup ecosystem.
There was Pivotees.
There was Pivot.
Actually, started with Pivot 22 or something.
Yes, I did apply for Pivot sometime.
And then it became Pivotees because it involved Tanzania.
Yes, when Akina Sheila were there.
Yeah, Sheila.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Sheila. We need to do a podcast.
Sheila went where? Safaricom.
She's around. She's in the ecosystem, but
there was Sheila, and then there was another lady. I think she went to Safaricom or something, group something when iHub was sold.
Rotich.
There was some girl. I think,
she's head of
shout out
developers there.
Yes.
She's also part of Ushaidi.
Yes.
Jessica Colasso. Actually, we have
Jessica. I worked with Jessica's sister. I also worked with Jessica's sister at kiosk. Story for another time.
Nice.
But that was fun for sure. And
those are some of the amazing ladies who really
build up that.
Because Sheila was at MLab, so after you guys graduated for Pivot,
and then they will be absorbed in MLab.
Give you an office, more of like acceleration. Yeah, so it's kind of solid.
Yeah, and I think for sure iHub did curate those opportunities, and then this is out to anybody who's trying to get out into that particular space.
Yeah.
If you find yourself, you love software, and you're visionary, you want to build a concept around it, and you don't know where to start, look for these communities. Look for these. I know iHub is still there, and I know there are other bigger ones that actually came, Ushahidi, and there are always so many of them that are still kind to set up. And nowadays, even in the startup world, there's a lot of grants and things that you can actually apply into. So get into that. Try to shape your idea, that app that you've built, into a business. Yeah. Because for sure, let me tell you, employment is not for everybody.
Yes.
It's not for everyone. This might actually be your ticket.
You're the first person who have had say that statement in reverse.
Yeah.
What I've always been hearing is that entrepreneurship is not for everybody. So even employment is not for everybody.
It's not for everyone, for sure. It's not for everyone.
Explain.
Well, okay. Thank you for putting me on the spot for that one. But anyway, for sure.
Because it's the
let
first
me
time
let me bring you back. Okay, let me give you a case scenario. Yeah. I'm sure you bought milk and bread from a shop.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever had time to talk to your shopkeeper just to understand their background academically, how good they were, even uni? You'll be surprised that most of them actually went to uni. But then, yes, it's one thing that employment is an issue in the African ecosystem. It's so hard for companies to absorb new talent nowadays from university. But then there's also that factor that, and that's what's happening with most of the people. I'm sure even someone who's listening right now, you have your degree, you're trying to apply for gigs, you're trying to get into the tech ecosystem, you're applying, and your email is full of "unfortunately, we regret to inform you." Please apply after 6 months. And it doesn't mean that
you're not good enough.
You're not good enough. And you know that some of these things will actually shut our inner self, and we'll feel like, no. But then, have you ever tried to look at it, flip the coin on the other side, and just tell yourself, maybe employment is not ready for me right now? let me try out building a concept out of this idea.
Yeah.
Because you do have a product.
Yes, yes.
The product that you have does provide value to your customers.
Yeah.
So if you can bring in the business and the entrepreneurial spirit into the same, you could actually monetize your application and actually build a business out of it.
Yes, and employ people. And be more kinder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I mean for, like, employment is not for everybody. Actually, you trying out entrepreneurship can actually work out for you.
Yeah.
And even my case study for the shopkeeper, I was trying to go with this. My shopkeeper used to tell me, rather, that this shop that you see me selling you bread and milk for, this shop pays my rent.
Yeah.
It takes my children to school.
Yes.
I have money to still go on vacation.
Yeah.
And I still have a savings account, and I'm building somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're employed.
Yeah.
You're probably living hand to mouth with your salary, because again, salaries are meant for you to come back.
Yeah.
And you'll never be paid enough to make you not
Move
come back. Yeah. But if you try out entrepreneurship, if it works well for you, again, and I also agree with you when you said, guys also say it the other way. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody, maybe employment. Yeah. But just try to see where you land.
True.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you for explaining that, because it gives people a different perspective about entrepreneurship. And by the way, when I think about a shop, there's someone closely I know that ever started a shop, but eventually they realized that the profits there is like 2 bob, 5 bob. Imagine how many breads do you need to sell
to make
1,000 bob.
Oh, like 1,000 bob for sure.
With like 5.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about that, you should be a bakery or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And sometimes, the stock doesn't move as fast, so you consume the stock. So there's a lot. But that explanation really is really important.
Yeah.
So you start now learning these things, participating in competition.
Yeah, I start participating in those.
Coming back, and that's when now I meet you guys.
Yeah, and then that's now when I meet Mike.
And then your life turns.
At this point, when I'm meeting Mike, is introducing things called athletian to me. Once I'm not. I feel like the first 3 sessions that I went, I was just floating. Yeah. Big up to Ian Juma. I think it's called Ian Juma. The white guy with I think it was at 18.
Ian Juma. Yeah, it was at 18.
Yeah, so I used
shout
to...
out Ian.
Yeah.
Ian, we need to, I know Ian is one guy you cannot find him if you don't know where to
yeah,
look.
of course.
But Ian, if
May
you
not
listen
find
to
him.
this, we need to do something, talk about these experiences.
Yeah.
That guy, man, is a genius.
For sure,
Like,
for
oh
sure.
my God. People know the guys who really express themselves and put themselves out there for guys to know them.
Yeah.
But me, I know, like, maybe it's 2% of the guys that people know they are good. For me, on my side, at least in Kenya, I know 98% of the guys who most people don't know.
For sure.
Since back in the day, even before I started building communities, there were still guys who were solid. Some of them, of course, died, but
yeah.
Okay, sorry to say this, but that's the truth.
It's life, it happens.
But there are really guys who are really solid.
Yeah.
So Ian Juma actually is one of them. There are a couple of them. And over time, you'll hear their story, because everyone has really an interesting story around it. Yeah.
So
Ian Juma comes and presents.
This guy is presenting things there, CICD pipelines. I'm like, what? Me, I've just learned Android.
Yeah.
And
HTML.
Java, and you guys are talking about release pipelines. Me, I just know how to package this app on my laptop and upload it on Play Store. That was just me.
Yeah.
But then now I realized, okay, so there are different venues of acquiring knowledge and actually trying to improve what you've built.
Yeah.
I now realize software does not have an end. There's always going to be an iteration of perfection, making it better and adding value to your customers.
Yeah.
And that's when I also get to meet you.
Yeah.
And then now associating with people who also drive the same value.
Yeah.
Again, looking back, that does shape where I am.
That was
right
your
now.
epiphany moment.
Yeah,
For lack of better,
like, yeah,
better
it's like,
explanation.
bro, you
you
just
did
have
not graduate, right?
For journalism, I did not.
You're like,
Oh,
to hell with
yeah,
it.
not really.
Yeah.
Me, I don't drop school.
eh.
So what
So
happened?
did you go back and graduate, or?
No, I'm not. I'm thinking of going back though,
Oh.
but I don't know if I
And how
have
did
time.
you do your master's, Kak?
I'll tell you.
Oh,
I'll
this
tell you.
chief here is
I'll
a
tell you.
master's graduate.
I tell you. So,
Eh. But anyway, let's not go there. So you start, you tell us when we get there.
yeah.
So you now start taking software engineering properly
Yes.
and appreciating the concept of proper software engineering.
Correct.
Did you have to relearn everything?
there was that.
Because there is Kubernetes,
Yes.
there's
Other
CI/CD,
things
there's the
coming.
bucket pipeline.
Yeah, because again, like what they teach you in school and what you're going to do in the industry.
You realize you don't know
they
anything.
Sideline. The university is just supposed to teach you the principles and guide you
How to learn.
how these things, the foundations and the history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words, they teach you how to learn.
Yes. and then now life, all the work experience now teaches you now how to curate and build proper software.
Yeah.
So I think there was a time where I had to like now start thinking, do I want to go back to uni, do computer science as an undergrad and then come back later and continue? Or do I want to do XYZ?
Yeah.
So I got I was actually pitching in an event. And the CEO for MTBA, I think, was there.
Yeah.
And then after the talk, the first time we met, I was like, we're building this solution in a healthcare solution in Kenya called MTBA, blah, 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 blah. I didn't take it serious because even me, I'm trying to set up my organization and one also to become a competitor.
Yeah.
And then I used to be a guy for hackathons.
Every
when hackathons will come, you'll find me there. And I'm there because I know I have a solution and I either want to win money or, just push time.
Yeah.
And then there was a hackathon by MTBA again. But this time they had branded it as CarePay. CarePay is the company and MTBA is the product.
Pause. So now that you're talking about the hackathons, tomorrow we have our hackathon at Africa Leadership University in partnership with Africa Stocking here in Kigali, Rwanda, the whole day. So if you know someone and you're listening and they could come to this hackathon, please encourage them. MK will be there.
Yeah.
Sylvia Debate will be there. Douglas himself, Dagi, the full stack engineer at Africa Stocking will be there, amongst many other good engineers. This chief himself will be there, Abedi, Victor.
I will.
And you're all welcome. It's free. Just make your way to ALU, 8 a.m. and come and build with us. Please go on.
Yeah, so the hackathon,
Yeah.
So I go to KRP offices.
Yeah.
It's a 24-hour hackathon, So
Yeah.
we hacked through the night. I think at that time it was supposed to integrate to some of the MTBA APIs.
Yeah.
And then build an app around it,
Mm.
Now here's the catch. The winner for the hackathon was supposed to be given an internship. And then at the end of the hackathon will be awarded the smartwatch, something to enter a certificate.
Yeah.
So that time I was technically good to build a product, but then when it came to pitching, I was struggling. So at the end of the hackathon, I did not win. I got a certificate.
Yeah.
And see me, I disappeared. I'm like, this didn't work out for me, the internship, blah, 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 blah. But then I go MIA for a while. I still continue building my startup here.
Yeah.
And I'm also pursuing my degree for journalism. But then later on, I figured there's this one number that keeps calling me a month in. I think something happened to my line. I don't remember. I probably lost my phone or something.
Yeah.
But then when I called the number, I was actually in a bus heading to town.
Yeah.
And she's like, hi, this is Emily, HR at CarePay. Is this Victor? I'm like, yeah, this is Victor. So, Victor, I have some good news for you. I've been trying to reach out to you for a while.
Yeah.
Our CTO went through your assessment for the hackathon, and we want to offer you an internship position at CarePay.
Yeah.
It's going to be we are not going to pay. Like, she tried explaining the full contract on the phone. Probably she knew that I didn't have a phone and there's not going to be time again.
Yeah.
It's probably like those days where you guys used to send those things called the
Fax.
telegrams. You're like, mom sick, come home.
Oh,
you can't put everything
to save on the cost.
So like
because
she
it
was putting everything inside.
But then, you know, people, the people who are really people really don't know things like fax and telegram.
Oh yeah, they were there.
Yeah,
they
and they
were
were super expensive to send, so you had to like.
But there were no phones that
compress,
time. Yeah, guys have to write letters or put. I remember my mom used to write letters to the mom, and you'll put money.
That's where Twitter got the is it 150 or 160 characters concept?
Yes.
That's where.
That was the concept. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they got the concept.
Like
whatever you have to say, you should be able to say with this 160. If Telegram it was shorter than that, then you should be able to say whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I've been struggling on Twitter.
And you don't worry about the grammar.
Yes,
Because it's
for
just-
sure.
will it
for
make
sure.
sense? Yeah.
I think it has been hard for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, the HR calls me, tells me you're offering your internship position at Cafe.
Yeah.
We want you to come in. So when are you free to start? Me this time comes out, the HR told me there's no salary, but you're gonna be given a stipend.
Yeah.
And the stipend was 20k, 20,000 Kenya shillings.
Yes.
This time, me, I'm running my Gumbaru startup. I do not have money that is coming
What
from
did you
that
call
side.
it?
We call it Gumbaru. You're surviving. You have a vision that
Yeah.
it's gonna work out for you, yeah. But then there's no money at that particular point in time. And now this woman is calling me to persuade me with 20k. Do I even have money? No.
That is a survival thing.
And then I'm like, you said 20k? It's like, yeah, but it will be taxed, so you'll be getting like 16. I'm like, okay, when am I starting? Like, when you're ready. So like, are you free like next week? I'm like, yeah. So you can start on Monday next week.
By all
I'm like,
means.
I'm coming. So yeah, that's how I ended up in the
Without
employment
knowing,
world.
there's a guy who pitched this idea, which turns out to be Kiapi.
Of course.
But
I now later come to meet the CEO. Because when I joined as an intern, I was part of the retail team. It's like when you enter, and then there are sub departments.
Yeah.
So we were trying, at that time, they were trying to push their savings product through MT, because I think when they started, it was like, you'll open a wallet, save up for your healthcare.
Yeah.
And then whenever you get sick. So the catch was, if you save up to a particular amount, you'll be given bonuses, because KEP had partnered with some NGOs who bring in funds.
Yeah.
And then so if you save like 100, they'll give you 50 bob.
Yeah.
If you save, ideally to drive the saving culture towards healthcare.
Yeah.
But then we realized that was not gonna work.
Yeah.
To sustain KEP as a company, as a startup, and I joined.
Yeah.
But then I joined as an intern.
Yeah.
I was working with the retail team, and I was working closely with the CFO, the CEO, my
That
product.
is from Amsterdam or just Kenyan team?
So both my CEO and CFO were Dutch guys.
Okay.
So Kes and Martin.
Yeah.
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 But those are the guys also like shaped me for sure. I usually call them my big four.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Kes, Martin, Steve Miner. Steve Maina, wherever you are,
shout out.
we should catch up again.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there was who else? And Barry Lejaware, something like that. Sorry if I killed your name, Barry. But Barry was the CTO. Proper guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy who taught me like proper
Coding skills.
Yes. Debugging Java, JVM, Spring Boot, 101 class. Barry was the guy. And I think when I joined, it was more like you go deep end in the ocean and then swim your way towards the shore. We'll catch up. That's how we used to learn.
Yeah.
And for sure, that guy, I usually call Kiape. It was my first job. Because 3 months in, I was confirmed as a full-time software engineer.
Yeah.
And then I think like 6 months in, because again, I started being good. And also like with my skills from where I was coming in the past, growing in the career was quite easy for me. Yeah? So intern, software engineer, I became a client engineer, which meant now I was trusted with Kiape's clients. But then it's more like a developer relations, but then you still code. Yeah. So this opened up new markets for me, traveling into Amsterdam, traveling into Nigeria. I think I'm proud to say I built up KP in Nigeria when it actually started.
Yeah, I remember those days when we could speak anytime.
I'm not around.
I'm here with
I'm chilling with my other brothers. Yeah, so I did stay in KP.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
For 3 years,
For 3 years. And those 3 years were learning, networks, and learning. Yeah. So I think also within the third year of my career, I also like started seeing, because I started off like mobile developer. I did backend, I did front end. I was full stack at some point. Kubernetes even came. I was like, I think the good thing now, this is now my SRE journey is coming into also.
Yeah.
We're shifting from running our instances on an ECS machine.
Yeah.
We are moving them into Kubernetes.
Yeah.
I think of all the software development team, it was either me and Barry who knew Kubernetes.
Yeah.
Like we took the knowledge to go and learn it.
Yeah.
So guys used to come and consult me. And then I was like, by the way, instead of having to write Java every day, or rather just writing your solutions and then let Barry write your CI/CD pipelines and deploy that into an ECS cluster on Amazon. See, I can also, with that intrigue, how do you call it? Yo kutaka kujua. How do you say that in English? Curiosity, exactly. So out of curiosity, I was like, I want to know the code that I write, how does it end up in production? Now that started opening up things for me. CI/CD pipelines, how do you write them? We were building on top of Bitbucket.
And now you remember the Atlassian sessions.
And now Atlassian sessions come in. And those times I used to get those cool swags, the t-shirts. So I'll go to the office and then I'm like,
I'm the
Git
coolest
push,
guy around.
CG what. Even the CT was like, I like that t-shirt. I'm like, you see me? You feel me, bro? So there was that. And so out of curiosity, I did choose that path. So now DevOps interest. And for sure, Barry was my sidekick because it was like, if you wanna learn it, why not? I mean, if the other guys in the team don't want to learn, but you feel like you wanna learn it, you can as well do it. So I now saw the full journey of building your, writing a feature. Let's say you're working on an API. Packaging that into your CI/CD pipeline, running your test, taking that into source control to scan quality checks using Sonar or any other tool of your choice. Putting that into Docker as an image. Containerization was actually just coming up as a concept at that particular time. So I did learn Docker. I wrote my first CI/CD pipeline. Actually modified the existing one because again, the good way to learn it is by breaking it. As long as you don't break it in production, which is also fine because trust me, there's a real, you'll have to break something in production. We call it chaos engineering. So
and most of these concepts you grasp them through the community engagements.
Yes, community engagements, and then also that drive of having to learn something new. I did set out a focus for myself. Yes, I'm building features, but then I'm also going to create time for personal development to know what's happening outside there. How are these big companies doing it? And how can I also be part of a community where, they show you how to do these things. And for me, my knowledge was not just attending those events. It was more like, after that, I want to come back and implement these things in KPI, and also so that they see I'm adding value.
So it was more of day-to-day practice.
Yes. So that's how I went about it for sure.
Oh, nice. And Chief, that actually cleared a path to work for people like Bring, Global. How was that experience as a backend engineer?
Well, so when this time I'm leaving KPI, I feel like I've grasped certain knowledge to move me, because also like I'd worked into the healthcare industry for a while. So this is 3 years of KPI. And remember I told you I was building my startup.
True.
Those also another 3 years of my startup also in healthcare. So I wanted to change industries. And at this point in time also, at KPI, what was happening is I also decided to become, I told myself I want to become a specialist or rather an expert in one particular area because I was full stack. So I said I wanted to focus on backend and infrastructure. So building backend APIs and also putting that on cloud. Deploying that into a multi-cloud environment, all these kind of things. So that was now my focus. So I joined Bring. I come in as a senior backend engineer. Bring they were actually building financial systems. They had partnered with this organization called Backbase. I think that was the platform that most banks do. So they have already curated most of the solutions for banks. So if you're, I think banks are also moving into the digital era. So like from internet banking into mobile banking. So they already built out these components. So all you just need to do is sign a contract with them. And then now us, the developers at Bring,
so
will
that
now
is software as a
customize.
service,
Yes, exactly. Now we will customize that software as a service to meet your size and taste for your applications.
And also white label,
and integrate it also with your legacy systems. Now to pull in the transactions and all that things. So my first client was Stanbic Bank of Ghana.
Oh, nice.
And I think 6 months down in, I was actually working with a guy called Gordon. Gordon, I know he had this today by them giving everybody their flowers for sure. So me and Gordon did pull out that project.
But this is not the Gordon from high school.
No, this is not Gondo. That was called Gondi. Stephen Gondi.
Yeah, okay, Stephen Gondi. Yeah. Now, actually, I've gotten the mathematician name. It's Samuel Wako.
Yes.
Very brilliant champ.
Yeah.
From Northeastern. You know Northeastern? You need to visit there, Kaka. I think the last time before Corona and everything, we were supposed to go to Lodwar. And by the way, one thing that I've not told people, once you realize the value of community, you also became one of the main speakers in these events, trying to nurture more abilities.
Other people, yes.
Yeah, so anyone listening, don't just come to communities to take. Just also give once you have had enough.
Yeah, for sure. You have to give back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started building Stanbic with the...
Where we built Stanbic Bank of Ghana.
Yep.
6 months in.
Yeah.
The contract.
That is the digital side of things.
Yes. Now at least Stanbic Bank. I know guys in Ghana are using their mobile app to transact. That was us. We're the ones who built the back end side of it.
Is he a Kenyan or Ghanaian?
Who?
The Stephen God.
No, Gordon. Gordon is Kenyan. Okay. I think I'm forgetting his other name. I'll find it. Yeah, but me and Gordon on the back end, and then there's some few guys who are building on the Android and iOS side of things.
Yeah.
By 6 months in, we got the product out. The client was happy.
Yeah.
Bring also like a consultancy company. Yeah. So once one project is off, they'll get you into another project.
Yeah.
At this point, I think the second project was an app for the Central Bank of Portugal. It's called CDG. Yes. So I did build up some of those components, but in total I did work in Bring, I think 2 years or 1.5, one of those. Yeah, and I also had to call it goodbye. That was financial sector. So from healthcare into financial sector. Yeah, and then after Bring, I did join the big company. Yeah. No, actually. Yes, I remember. So I also, from Bring, I did join a company in the US. It's called Wiseline.
Yeah.
Also a software technology consulting company. My first client with them was Factset in the UK.
Yeah.
I did help them I joined them as a senior site reliability engineer.
Yeah.
So at this point, remember I'm digressing from the software world.
Yeah.
Where I've actively built on the back end, and now moving fully into infrastructure, monitoring, security, observability, and automating how they actually build their tools on data. So Factset is actually one of the biggest data mining companies in the world. Yeah, and I was part of a small team, and ideally what our team used to do is that if you're a client, you will go and request a particular data. Let's say you're a startup where you want some insights, you just go and tell Factset, hey, you want this data. They will go and mine that data for you. Yeah. And then once they get the data, they will send a request to our team to provision the infrastructure that will hold that data, a database, the software, the service that was running to read that data from the DB. Yeah. And then they'll share the credentials with the customer. So that was the bit of work that my team was doing. Yeah. But when I joined, all these things were manual. So it was a manual call, hey, create for us this nini, put this data inside there. Once you're ready, share with us the DB URLs and everything, yeah? So the value that I was coming to bring to Factset, for me, for sure, because I didn't stay for long, it was like 3 months, was automation. Yeah. So all I just needed to do was, build something simple out of it. So anytime they will make a new request, that request will come through the API that I built. This request will create, I had a script that I'd written, and this script will write Terraform code that now will provision the database itself. And once the DB was ready, we'll load data into it, and it will give you back the URL, which will now give the customers. So it was like a direct integration. So once you get the data, just call our API, we'll give you the DB and everything, all set and done. Yeah. And for sure, I will tell you, those who want to seek to join employment, for sure, in tech or any place that you're going to work into, your employer wants value. Yes. The moment you start giving them value, you'll hear good deals coming to you. Yeah. So by the time in my 3 months in, the reason why I chose to leave at this particular point was they were using a different stack that was foreign to me. So they were using Python as their main stack. I was coming from the Java side of world. Yeah. But then again, it doesn't hurt to learn something new. But then was I ready to pick up Python at that particular point in time? Yeah. Yes, I was, but not fully. Okay. I didn't see it growing out of me. Yeah. So I decided to to pull the plug, now resigning. And at this point in time, my manager was in the UK. He calls me and tells me, Victor, we want to offer you a full-time opportunity at Faxet.
Yeah.
Yes, because of this value that you're giving us. Because before, this used to be manual calls. I don't know how you understand the impact of the value brought
For sure,
to
for
us.
automation. Yeah.
This used to be manual calls that guys will call, and then you'll have to put guys to the night to provision this. But the fact that now people are able to, we've automated this, it means that if a billion companies come, this request will be provisioned at the same time, and these guys will get their data through automation.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, man, do you want to come to the UK and join us? At this point in time, journalism thing is backfiring. How it's backfiring is because in public universities, there are a lot of strikes that happen. Yeah. And in this time, I think there's one
lecturers
of those.
Are not paid salaries.
Lecturers are not paid, but this one for ours, guys are not paid school fee. And the school
don't
said,
want to go.
And the school said, if you have not paid your fees by this particular date, you're not going to do your exams. And I was a victim. I didn't pay that by that day, but I think I paid on the weekend. So I expected that on Monday I'll do my examinations. But yeah, we were blocked from the gate. You're like, you're not going to do your exams. And what do you say to Kenyan students? So guys vandalized the school. It was proper.
Closed.
Vandalized.
Indefinitely.
Like it was closed indefinitely. We were actually suspended from school for an entire academic year. No
That
special
class?
exams. Yes. Everybody who was sent who didn't do the examinations were suspended by the school indefinitely for one academic year.
Yeah.
But now this time I have to call myself again and do a retrospect. What am I going to do in this 1 year? Yes, I am at KAPE, I'm working as an intern, blah, blah.
I can't go to
this
UK.
is happening. UK is not even come up yet.
Okay.
So in this particular time now, I think over like the few months I went and did an introspect, and I got a course in USIU that a friend recommended me. So I did my undergrad in USIU. Yes.
Okay.
So in this time when I'm doing my undergrad, already I do not want to hear anything to do with relocation because my first degree backfired on me. There's no way I don't want anything to make me not to finish this one. So yeah, I didn't take the offer from Faxet. It was actually a good deal. I chose to stay to finish my course. And it was, again, purely all good vibes, all good reasons. And I don't regret the reason behind it.
Yeah.
So yeah, months in, Faxet goes. I get another client. I interview with one of the big brands at the Walt Disney. And I think the same day I interviewed.
This was through an agency?
Through an agency, Wiseline, yes. And the same day I interviewed, I actually got accepted.
Oh, they said you are in?
Yeah.
Come and do this thing.
They were like, bro, enter.
Yeah.
Now, I'm joining Disney as I was part of the DMED team. It's called Digital Media Entertainment something. And this team, ideally, my team used to manage 5 Disney products. That was Hulu, HBO, Disney Plus, ESPN News, and that one. I've said Hulu.
Yeah, you said Hulu.
And HBO.
Yeah.
So
all those are owned by Disney?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Walt Disney is like an alphabet.
Okay.
For Google.
So it's one of the fun guys.
And then now it's also beneath the other company that were bought by the Walt Disney is now HBO, Fox, all these things. Actually, most American entertainment are owned by the Walt Disney.
Yeah.
The one is Banone or something. Yeah, so I got into Disney.
Yeah.
I joined them as a senior site reliability engineer.
Yeah.
But then the scope of work, apart from having to build and have to stress about observability, chaos engineering, which is a new concept that is coming to me because now you can imagine you streaming on these platforms. And one thing that we do not want you as a customer to experience is latency blamed on the company. Availability of what you're watching, missing caching, out, all those things. It's crazy, so man. My team has to handle all that. And I also have to be a visionary for my team to guide them through that. And I will tell you for sure that's when I got introduced to management for sure, because my role was 50% management, 50% engineering, being an individual contributor. And at this point in time, I am working in a team of 20 SRE engineers who report directly to me. And part of these 20 people, these people are as old as my dad. So these guys have been in the industry for a while.
So you're not telling them anything.
Well,
Actually, you're the guy.
one thing I can tell you for sure, at least, me working with them, I think also like, again, growing up in my background did put me out for respect.
Yes.
So again, work is work.
How was that like?
Work is work for sure, I will tell you. Being a manager, when it comes to work, work is work. We need to work together and deliver.
Yeah.
I can carry the weight for the team. But then if I don't find you productive for the team, I have to call you out for it. And if you're not gonna work, we need to dispose you and get someone who's gonna do it.
Okay.
So there's that bit of now coming from being an IC
True.
and now getting into management.
Yeah.
But then we'll get into that. So I joined Disney, those 5 products. My KPI was actually to get Hulu in Africa.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to set it out in South Africa. I think they must have launched by now. Yeah, but during that time, it was, again, deploying things in production, crashing our servers. We will actually write code to go and destroy our servers as they run.
Were they set out like test or?
No, this is actually people. Like, this is now what you call chaos engineering by itself, because with chaos engineering, what you're trying to achieve, the main goal is trying to test your system for availability and resiliency, and so that if by any chance someone attacks your server, you know what to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Because when you attack your server, the users who are streaming from that server are blocked out. Things to do with availability zone. How does this? If Mike is in Kenya and is streaming this content
from South Africa,
from your TV, when it's actually connecting to those servers where you're streaming from, you will actually find it's talking to about 70 servers at the same time. That's just to block you from not experiencing resiliency and anything, all those latencies and all these things. So we'll actually build solutions to destroy our servers and just test and see how ready are we as Disney for HBO if someone attacks our instances or something. So that was interesting for a while. I loved working in that company. It was amazing. I did burn out for sure because I was working at different times.
I remember those days.
Yes, I used to work in Nairobi. My team were based in the US.
So from 5 p.m.
I will stretch up to 3 a.m. in the morning, of which even at times I will sleep. And I wake up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym, and someone is spamming my inbox, either on Slacks or email. I have to go and report and say what happened while you are away, because this happened.
It was crazy.
This service is not available. And I have to go and write, what's that thing called again? If something goes wrong, you have to go and write that report. I'm forgetting the name. Basically, it explains the incident, what happened, what did you guys do, walk us through every minute. At this point in time, developer A was on call, he did XYZ, developer B came and spoiled it, but then I came up at 6 a.m. to come and fix it. So there was a lot of that, bureaucracy and all these things for big companies. But for me, it was a learning lesson. I did enjoy my time there. The experience was amazing. And again, time comes, you have to call out the company and say bye. And that's where I am right now. After that, I think 2 months in, I joined MasterCard.
Nice.
So
that is MasterCard Nairobi?
Yes, I joined them through MasterCard Labs in Kenya.
Oh, very nice.
So
so still doing SRE there?
No. So MasterCard, I came back. So I still do it as part of the full end solution. But nowadays, software engineer, your expectations is also getting bigger.
True.
Because the higher you grow, the higher the requirements, and people want to get.
So you're tech lead in that.
So there's that, and the factor that when you're building the product, you have to go with it till the end, deploying, monitoring, all this kind of stuff. So in labs, we're actually building some cool stuff inside the MasterCard ecosystem. I cannot talk about them because again, it's all a part of an NDA. But that's where I actually spend most of my time today.
Very nice. That's cool, man. Later on, earlier on, I was talking to someone and telling them, if I walk to any tech company in Kenya that are set up, 70% of the engineers, or maybe more, I don't know. They're part of the community,
for sure.
They have been part of the community, and it's really something that I'm proud of to say. that really, if you really set out to build something, it works.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And this is just to encourage any African engineers or African visionaries, whatever you are. It requires those small act of service that brings us to where we are. And Victor Abedi is an evidence of that. And what you have talked about is in a span of 7 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I
so imagine what you can achieve in 20 years.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot.
If we set out.
But
yeah, and thank you so much, Victor, for making time for this. I'm sure our listeners, and I can see some interesting names here. Big up to Naamini Onazi from Tanzania. He's a full stack engineer at Vodafone Tanzania. He's logged in. I can see Sylvia Jebet, our DevRel at Africa Stalking. I see Jose. He's a, by the way, DevOps engineer at what was that car name?
Tesla?
EV. No. It's a EV.
EV company. I see.
I can't recall the name. But he's also a DevOps engineer at EV. There's a Digital T. There's Ronnie. There's R2. There's Dan. Keep something. There's Peter. There's Abedi himself. You're just logged in.
Oh yeah. Again, I'm here. I'm here to take up questions. So guys,
there's Geoffrey.
Yeah.
There's Muindi. And anyone who is logged in, we appreciate you. We celebrate you, and feel free to come in and ask questions, contribute, become the co-hosts. It's allowed. We can hear you, by the way. With our rig where we are, we can hear you. Can answer your questions. So anytime you log in, please contribute. But until next time, maybe we should hear a parting shot from Victor Abedi.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anybody who's trying to get yourself into this software space, it is a beautiful place to be in. All I can just say, just put yourself open to learning. Again, any good employer wants a good employee who adds value, not to come and collect salary. Take your time. Take your time. I know there are guys in the ecosystem who are big names. You probably heard of them. But then don't use that as a drive to be where you want to be. Rather use that as a challenging factor to set yourself up to where you want to be. And just take your time to add value.
Yes.
I think my parting shot here is add value to your employer, add value in whatever you do. And use these tools to actually, solve problems. And things are going to work out for you. So from me here in Kigali, this was actually beautiful, by the way. And thank you so much, guys, for hosting me. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. This is just a start. There's so much actually we can talk. We can even dig deep to DevOps and what it means. Chaos engineering introduced by one and only Netflix. But if you're an engineer out there, check out Netflix engineering blog.
Yes, they actually have a YouTube. They have a YouTube.
No, they have a YouTube?
Yeah, for the engineering team. So if you don't like reading, log into their YouTube. They have some cool stuff.
Do they have this engineer so-and-so from Pune? So I want to quote one African proverb. And it goes by the way, I borrowed this idea from Spice FM.
Spice. Those two guys. The three guys are the core.
Big up to those guys. By the way, if radio was like that, I would go back to listening radio because they really give some soberness in radio and things that actually educate you. Big ups to the Spice FM in the morning every day. By the way, check them out. I'm not like advertising them, but I find they're really addressing some cool stuff.
Show for sure.
There's Ndu there. There's I don't know who else.
I know there's a Nigerian woman who lives in Kenya.
It's the one I think who's named Ndu.
And then there's that old guy. I'm forgetting his name.
Now that I'm looking for it, I've forgotten. But big ups to the Spice FM morning show. You're doing an amazing job. So, our parting short proverb is: smooth seas do not make skillful sailors.
Smooth what?
Smooth seas do not make skillful sailors.
Care to explain that?
This means, in other words, we learn and grow when times are tough through adversity. And by the way, there is no story that actually exemplifies that than yours.
Yes.
And the lessons learned can be applied to make things smoother and easier the next go around. If you never experience a position, how can you begin to understand what works and what doesn't? There are teachable moments, embrace them as such, learn from them, and move on. Actually, there is no truer proverb that can speak to most software engineers in the world,
Yeah.
beyond Africa, more than this proverb.
What?
I don't know where it comes from. I think Spice FM says which country, but of course we'll get there. I just wanted to share that with you. And without further ado, my name is Michael Kemadi, your host from Africa's Talking podcast retold, Impact Masters podcast, telling the stories as they are across Africa. We're telling it raw. And until next time, subscribe, like, share, and comment. We'll be hosting more movers and shakers in tech across Africa. It's just a start. Bye. Thank you so much.